So the goal here is to bring a complete bodyweight workout to the menu today. So I'm just starting off with some kind of really dodgy looking downward dog, some kind of pedaling the heels a little bit. Just be careful for a few things, or watch out for a few things when you're doing this. Just don't go over aggressively trying to drive your heels down if you've got bad ankle mobility like me, because you can actually hurt your Achilles a little bit here. So just nice and gently. I say nice and gently a lot. Then shoulder issues as well. Just try and keep the shoulders active, spreading the fingers in that position. Okay, so what we're going to do is a squat variation first. So to give you some kind of intensity here, we're just going to do a 3 second negative, or roughly I was doing the 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. Again, squeeze the glutes to the top. So without weight, this is one of the things we can do to kind of increase the intensity, is time under tension, meaning that we're kind of just control. You can go slow on the way up as well. You can do any amount of kind of variations with this really, but the standard one for a lot of movements, the first port of call almost is just to do 3 seconds, 2, 1, and up. So in terms of rest, it's up to yourself. You want to keep the intensity high, minimal recovery. You want to pace it a bit, just so you judge it yourselves. So push up variation next. Again, trying to get the nose to the floor. I could have done the 3 seconds down here. Just forgot. I was more concerned about my right wrist making a popping noise every time I did this. It's amazing what the dodgy music actually hides when you're in the gym. My body is making all sorts of noises. So again, checking camera angles. Dead bug next, core piece next. Okay, so again, just static variation. I'm trying to really drive my lower back hard into the floor here. So I just lift my tailbone slightly off the ground. You can leave your shoulder blades and your head on the floor if you want to, your upper back on the floor, but here I'm just trying to reach my fingers high up towards the ceiling. And I'm just going for a 30-second squeeze here. Okay, so that's a dead bug done. The next one is just a back raise. I just realized I have left the back raise out of all the other rounds I've done. Fuck's sake. I was going to do a progression from this one. You can have your arms straight out in front over your head, or else what you can do is you can do like a alternating, lifting say your right arm and your left leg up, and then left arm and right leg up. Yeah, that's an epic fail on my part. So next one is the scorpions. Okay, so again, keeping both hands on the floor pretty much. I'm just trying to rotate, bring my heel or my ankle towards my opposite hand. Again, don't rush these, just take your time. Just good for upper back mobility. Still can't believe I forgot the rest of those back raises. Fuck's sake. So at the end of each round, just kind of throw in a static stretch. I'm going to do here is just a glute stretch. Again, while the sitting down, you do plenty of these. So again, try and keep your head on the floor here. I'm looking up the odd time because I'm trying to count the seconds off the watch. You could do the whole yoga thing and just maybe 5 or 10 deep breaths in each position. It's totally up to yourself. I'm just having a little peek at the watch there. So what I want to do as well is my left foot in this case. I want to flex my foot, bring my toes towards my knee. Just make sure there's no pressure on the outside knee. Just extend the legs, switch up, same thing. And here I'm stretching my right hip, and what I can do, you can't see it here, but I can use my right elbow to just gently nudge my right thigh outward. Trying to get a bit more of a stretch. Again, trying to keep the head on the floor on this one. So back to the squats, round number 2. I think the variation here is just the 1 and 1 half or 1/4 squats. So again, we're doing this in that bottom position where we're kind of not bouncing too much. I try not to bounce at all actually. Try and keep that core tension, meaning that we're not kind of rounding our back too much or dropping our chest. Got a bit stingy there at the O reps. A little higher there, yep. And again, full extension, squeeze the glutes to the top. Stomach is making loud noises. I need some breakfast. This is actually pretty tough. This was a party, in my eyes, was a bit more of a challenging variation than the tempo squats. So in line with keeping the intensity up here, it's a push up into a shoulder touch. A bit more hip movement there than the last demo that I did. My bad. Again, trying to tighten up a little bit here. Probably could have brought my feet a bit wider. But the dynamic portion of actually doing the push up definitely makes this more challenging. So there is a little bit of moving, but again, just trying to slow it down as much as I can. I think getting marginally better as the set goes on here. But definitely one of the things I try and do is with the hand that's on the floor is trying to kind of spread my fingers and try and grab the floor. It gives you a little bit more stability. I'm trying to keep the tummy pulled in. So it's actually a good bit of core work on this one as well. So the next variation for the dead bug, I'm going to have the hands static, but I'm going to keep the legs moving. So again, maybe like a kind of a 1, 2, 1, 1, 2. Yeah, tempo's a bit off. Again, maybe like 2 seconds down, 2 seconds up. Just slow anyway, and just try and keep that engagement through the core, that we're not like letting our lower back pop off the ground. But there should be a moment where both knees are bang there in the start position, that we're not just kind of like doing a cycling or throwing our legs out back and forth continuously. So just pause for a second, switch. And if you can't keep your lower back kind of pressing the floor when you're doing these, just go back to the static variation, that's fine too. So yeah, totally skipped the back raises because I'm an idiot, and onto the prone scorpions. I think I had a bit of a brain fart here. I can't even remember how many reps I did. I kind of forgot how many I was meant to do. I think I'd intended initially just 5 each side. If you're feeling stiff or tight, you could do more, but 5 each side should do. So again, just back into a stretch this time. I'm just going to do a hip flexor stretch. So same thing pretty much as yesterday, trying to get the chest down. And I should be getting a good stretch just through the front of the left hip right here. Again, I'm just going for about 20 seconds each side in this video, but you can go longer if you feel a bit tight. So switching it up. Yeah, probably thinking right now how much noise all my joints make. Would never have known with all the 2-pack blaring in the gym. Yeah, it's funny the things you miss. So the next variation of the squat, I'm just going to do a 1-minute hold. So it's kind of funny what happens with in terms of mobility here. I think people have asked me before, but one of the best things I've done for mobility is for ankle mobility certainly is just practicing holding a squat position. You'll see here throughout the minute, I'm going to hold this for a minute, that my hips start to open up a little bit more. I start to get a bit lower. Just have to make sure that I'm not kind of slouching with my body too much. I have long femurs, so it tends to push my hips back a lot further than other folks. So my upper body probably will lean forward a bit, but I'm just trying not to sag completely and disengage. Again, keep the heels on the ground, the toes down. So I'm just kind of moving the hips a little bit side to side as well here, just to try and open up a bit more, working on mobility a little bit. I'm done, 1 minute. Okay, so this gets interesting. Yeah, check where the painting is so I don't kick it off the wall again. Some wall walks. Have not tried these in about 10 years. So, well, apart from the 2 minutes before this video. So again here, which I'm probably not doing a great job of, is trying to tuck my tummy in so I'm not overarching my back. I'm trying to get my nose to touch the wall here, which I just barely did. Yeah, again, how do you explain this? Just walk your feet up a wall. Strong arms, I guess, to try and make sure that the elbows aren't kind of soft. Really lock out the arms. Push the heel of the palm into the floor, and push the fingers into the floor too. And when I'm in that top position, what I want to try and do also is just going to, again, tuck my tummy in, squeeze the glutes, that posterior tilt. I mean, probably could have the toes pointing towards the ceiling as well, but you know, I'm not a movement guy. It's probably good by the end of this whole fucking ordeal though. So nose touch, and again, maybe a bit of an arch there. Try not to collapse onto the floor. Relieved I did not crash into the mantelpiece. Okay, so on to the next core piece. Breathing nowhere under control right now. So the advanced dead bug variation. So I'm extending the opposite leg and arm. Always a bit of a challenge for coordination with people, but this is a good one to do. Again, if you've kind of got the hang of the last two variations. When I'm extending the arm and the leg, I'm just going to pause for like a brief second and try and push my back into the floor. Again, always come back to that reset position. Fingers are pointing to the ceiling in the reset. Bang, reset there. We have both legs in the same position. So that's always your kind of your reset point if you get a bit lost or you get a bit confused with the limbs flying everywhere. Again, no back raises, my bad. I'll put a little short video at the end of this one. And into the scorpions. Again, just trying to maybe increase the range a little bit, but slow. I'm not going to blast with these. So yeah, that round was a little more challenging for the folks that are a bit more advanced, maybe whatever the PC term is. You could start with those movements possibly. You can do the maybe the 1 1/4 squats, the push-ups with shoulder touches, um, or the wall walks even. They're a bit of crack too. If anyone wants to try some handstand push-ups, post videos. And that's it pretty much, guys. So yeah, again, adductors just here. Again, like all the hip kind of musculature, just to stretch those guys out thoroughly, because sitting down a lot does tend to tighten things up. And I've been sitting down a hell of a lot more the last few days than I have been in God knows how long. So yeah, stretch. I'll post I guess the description or prescription or whatever you want to call it on the email and also on the YouTube page as well too. So any questions, just message me here or on the Facebook group. So here are the back raise variations I forgot to do earlier. Just a static hold right now. I'm trying to kind of get the elevation from my glutes and maybe shoulder blades more so than my lower back, so I don't want to feel any pain in my lower back here. So again, a static hold, maybe 20-30 seconds. Again, trying to get the glutes active. The alternative or the progression is to raise the opposite sides. Again, squeeze the glute and squeeze through the shoulder blade. Trying not to get the lower back doing all the work here, so just be careful about that too. So squeeze the glutes the whole time, even a bit of hamstrings.